Hello and welcome to the Sisters for Fitness Wellness Show. I'm Stephanie Gaines-Bryant. Our guest today is Rafael and Christine Quinones, and we're talking about Puerto Rico and relief efforts. They're with Global Solace Inc. and Solar Power for Puerto Rico. Welcome again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You were our guest a while back, and we were talking about the relief efforts or the lack of relief efforts for Puerto Rico. And we're doing the show again because we want to emphasize that things are still dire.
Yes,
in Puerto Rico. People are still struggling.
Yes.
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 You guys have been back twice since we spoke, since we last spoke.
That's correct, yes.
Now, the first time, what did you all do when you went back? What was the project that you were working on?
We went to Puerto Rico with Solar Power for Puerto Rico, and we brought with us a contingent of college students from the University of Maryland, and we did a nursing home. We gave solar power to a nursing home. This nursing home, they had a bunch of old people there, and if power went out, they were stuck. They didn't have anything, no power, no lights, no fans, no nothing. So we gave them backup power. We gave them, I think it's a 5 kilowatt system, and right now they got power and they're working.
What is the power situation like in general there in Puerto Rico?
In general, it's still bad. They claim that just about everybody's 100%. There's a few areas in Yabucoa, up in the mountains, that still don't have it yet.
And that's where you're from, is
That's
Yabucoa?
where I'm from, yes, Yabucoa. There's still a couple of them, I'm hearing that there's a couple of them that still don't have it. But the ones who do have it, it's sparse. It comes in, you may have it for a day, and then it's off for a day or a couple hours. And the thing is, the power on and off you can live with. The thing that's really damaging is half power. You'll get brownouts. What happened is the electricity goes down. Instead of working at 110 and 120 volts, it's working at 106, 107. We've measured it at 107 at our house up there. And what that does is destroys the appliances. My refrigerator's gone, and so is probably all of my cousins. They all had to buy new refrigerators because of that.
What is the importance of solar power now?
The importance of solar power is that if something happens and let's say they get another hurricane, they can come back up the next day with power, at least emergency power in some areas, and that's what we're trying to do.
What's the goal for you as far as making sure that as many people as possible have the solar power?
My goal is to give emergency power to most of the municipal buildings that are there. Our next project that we're doing with Solar Power for Puerto Rico, we had 2 of them slated. One of them was the school in Guayabota, which is the area that I'm from. And the other one is the public library in town. It's a public library police station. And what we want to do is, the police station's there is because the police station was destroyed during the hurricane. So it's got a temporary home there until they build a new police station. But what we want to do is give them power in case if the power goes down, they still have emergency power. We want to give people a way, at the library, a way of communicating, because they have computers there. We're going to get their computers up, and we're going to give them internet so that if things go down, they have somewhere to go and at least do research, or get in contact with people. That's basically our goal.
Now, most of the assistance that you have been receiving has just been from the kindness of people's hearts, from donations.
Exactly. And we want to thank everybody
Who's
for
been
all the
helping
help.
you?
Family, friends, people from our church, people from the synagogue nearby, and then word of mouth. My children and some of their friends put on Facebook a fundraiser. Instead of a birthday gift, please donate to Global Solace Inc., because they're a nonprofit. And that's where the money's come from, is just different word of mouth and friends and family.
How helpful has Global Solace been to you guys?
extremely, we couldn't have done anything without them. These guys are, most of the stuff that they do is gratis. You know, they come in and they do the solar power. They get, the only thing I think that they take money for is the actual manufacturing of some of the parts, because some of the parts have to be manufactured. But you have to buy, the money is used to buy the solar panels and the equipment that goes with it, and to build the thing. And then we hired what we've done is we've hired 2 locals from Puerto Rico, taught them how to do things, and now they've started their own businesses. This is what we want to do.
How much help has the government given over the last year?
To us, nothing.
Yes.
Nothing.
Wow. What's their response when people ask what they're doing? Or there is no response?
That's one of the problems. I don't think that they have their stuff together enough to be able to do, to be able to give the help that's needed. I mean, they may go to the governor's office and say, "Here's, we got this much money," and here, but to get down to the towns, that's a different story. I've been talking to the mayor a lot, and he's been down there. He has people that he's assigned in his organizations to go to the government and ask for the help. And so far, we've seen little. They've given them a few generators and that kind of thing, but again, it's really not that much.
What's the water situation like now? When you came here last time, we talked about the fact that you put together a system that helped provide water.
That was in another town.
Yes. Mm-hmm. What is the situation like now for Puerto Rico as a whole?
Most of them have water. We still filter the water, and they're still filtering the water. Most of them have water, except for on our last trip, second to last day when I was getting ready to come home, I went in and talked to the mayor, let him know that everything was finished, and all of that. And he said that, man, he really appreciated what we were doing. It's too bad that we can't do generator solar, because he had just lost one of his major generators for the for one of the pumping stations, and he had a whole area that was out again. So it's in and out, just like the power, in and out. And the thing is that would cause the generator to go out, it's the power, the brownouts, I'll call it. That's the name of it anyway.
And you said one of the issues with the brownouts is it destroys your appliances.
Appliances, yeah, right.
And how often does this happen?
Brownouts?
Yeah.
All the time. We were sitting there, and all of a sudden everything's fine, and then poof, it'll drop. 20 minutes later, it'll go up.
And is it because the system was an old system to begin with, or?
I have no idea. I think it's a regulation problem. They don't have regulators in there good enough to handle what's going on.
Now, we know a lot of people left Puerto Rico as a result of this.
Yes.
Who's there now?
The ones who have said, we're going to stick it out and we're going to fight.
And go ahead.
And they are saying Puerto Rico will rise again.
Now, we're hearing now that there are some official numbers of how many people died as a result of the hurricane. And of course, the number is much greater than we were initially told. And from just talking to you last time, it had to be.
Yes.
There is no way that the death toll was, what did they have the number at, like 64? Yeah, there was no way that only 64 people died as a result of the devastation that you spoke about when you came here the first time.
Yes, that's true. And they said it was 64, and I think it was last week or the week before that they changed the number to 1,462, I think was the number. But I think it's much higher than that. I still think that they're holding back those numbers, or they're not giving credit to some of the people that have died. But according to the other studies that have been done, statistically they're
Yeah, there's no way those
There's no way.
numbers can be correct.
Right.
Tell us about the schools. What's going on with the schools now, especially in your community?
Okay, what the Department of Education and Secretary of Education in Puerto Rico has decided to do is close 300 schools. Most of them are the ones like in my local community, smaller schools. I mean, like schools that have dropped in population, let's say. And what they've done is they've closed. They want to close 300. I think some of them went to court and it dropped down the number a little bit to 285, I think is what the new number is. But in our area, what they've done is they've closed the school that we were going to put a solar system on. That was going to be our next build. But they've closed that school, and they've closed about any school that's around it within 10 miles, I would say.
Oh, at least.
At least 10 miles, they've closed all the schools.
What does this mean for the students?
The students, what they've also decided to do is not send them to one school where they would all at least be together. You know, they've gone through a lot. And instead of sending them all to one school where they could, you know, at least be together, at least have faces that they knew, they've decided to take these kids and split them up. So they're going to different schools in different areas, and most of them have to travel over an hour to get to their schools.
And are they having a full day of school?
Right now, school's about to start, so I'm not sure what that's going to be like. I would assume that they would have a full day of school, but that's an assumption on my part.
How are businesses faring with this? Restaurants.
Businesses got hit. Businesses got hit pretty good, especially the small ones. And there's this local fishery that we go to. It's a little restaurant, and this place was tore up. I mean, it was bad. The fishermen had 22 boats that they would go out and do the catch and bring it in, and then his wife would cook up the fish, you know, there. The restaurant itself suffered great losses. The guy lost his house. He's still living with his in-laws because his house was gone. But what's happening over there is his clients are helping him out a lot. What they've done is they'll come in with building material and they'll put it up. And it's amazing what they've done. You know, they've put it up everything, this restaurant to what it should be. He lost a bunch of freezers. He lost, like I said, the boats. I think 19 boats he lost, I think, out of 22. He has 3 boats. But
so is that the story for a lot of businesses?
That's a story for a lot of businesses, yes.
And as far, of course, tourism was a huge industry.
Yes.
For you. What's that like today?
I think it's starting to pick up a little bit. Puerto Rico, when it first happened, was denuded. Everything was gone. The green was gone, you know, and it's a beautiful island. But it was like, I don't know if you have seen the movie
Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings, the land of Mordor and Lord of the Rings. That's what it looked like.
See how connected you two. She
I've
just
never
read
seen,
your mind.
and I've never seen the movie.
Go ahead.
But anyway, it was like that when I first went back. Right now, it's turning into a lush island again. Puerto Rico se levanta is what they're saying.
And what
Puerto Rico will rise.
How long do you think it will take before things return to what you would consider normal? And of course, it'll never be what it was a year ago.
Right.
But how long do you think it'll be before you feel like, okay, we're coming along, we're getting there?
It'll be a few years, 2 to 3 years maybe even longer. In some of the areas that were pretty hard hit, I'm not even sure. Like the center of the island where they had the mudslides. I don't know.
I want to remind folks too, when you were on the first time, you said the eye of the storm hit your hometown of Yabucoa.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Right,
go ahead.
came in right through there, and the thing was, it wasn't just a hurricane. It was a hurricane with 3 tornadoes.
Wow.
Hit it same time.
What is your town looking like now?
It's looking a lot better. People are, you could see that things have improved. You could see it. The mayor is really phenomenal. Can't say enough about the guy.
And he's been doing a lot in assisting to build things.
Oh yeah, he does everything he can. The guy works like crazy. He's out by 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and he's gone to midnight. He's putting in those days.
What do you think the greatest needs are now? Here we are a year later. What do you think the greatest need is?
Well, many people still need to have their homes repaired.
Right. Yeah.
And I think solar power is the way to go, but most of the people can't afford it. But there's, if they could do that, there's usually sunshine, and then it's dependable. When we were there, our last visit was with our church friends from St. Camilla's. What St. Francis builds. It's an offshoot of Habitat for Humanity. And we were in a neighboring town, which is Mount Albo, and they're right next to Yabucoa. They also got hit very badly. And their neighborhood, there's a neighborhood we went to, and we worked in about, I think, 6 different homes. A lot of them had electrical damage because of the storm, so they can't get their power turned back on until that's fixed. There was roof damage. The lady, Milagro, I think she's a councilwoman. At least she's the leader in the neighborhood. She had a contact with the Fuller Center that said they could come in and help. Her house was damaged terribly, but she was able to move in next door. I think it's her sister next door. And they asked, can we come in, bring people in to do work in your area? She said, yes, but my house can wait. I have a place to live. There's other people that need their houses fixed before mine is fixed.
What's the major repair that people need?
Roofs, windows, the damage to, painting, scraping, electrical work, a lot of electrical work, because to do electrical work over there, it's not like over here. Over there, you got to cut the concrete and put the new stuff in, and then repair the concrete on the concrete homes.
So it's a
little more work.
What can you say to folks to make sure that they don't forget Puerto Rico? That's why we're doing this show today. I don't want people to forget. There's still a lot going on there. People are still struggling. They're still suffering. We can't forget.
No, we can't. And we'll have to keep doing this until we get, we have, on our last trip, the college students were there to do a study to see how many buildings we could do. And we do community centers, municipal buildings, that kind of stuff. And we've come up with 6 new projects that we would like to do. But the thing is, we've got to get those things funded because they just don't have the money,
And I want to remind everyone that you guys are from here in Maryland.
Yes.
But you take your time in your retirement years to go back and do this. And you guys have done a lot over the last year.
Yes, not enough. Not enough.
But it's going to take people like you.
Yes, yes. And in Puerto Rico, what you're seeing is a lot of groups like us that are doing this type of work. That's where it's coming from. And the resiliency of those people is phenomenal.
And what's your most urgent project? What are you going back? Because I know you guys are going back. What's the next thing? What's the next big thing?
The next big thing will probably be the library police station, because I think it could help the most number of people. Internet is still sketchy over there. And they do a lot of research, and that library is used by some of the local colleges to come in and do research. Without computers, they're kind of lost, So what we want to do is we want to make sure that all their computers are working. They can do their research. They can get copies of whatever they need to be. So we'll be powering copiers, and and that the police station can function as a police station or whatever they turn it into after they built a new police station.
Now, one of the issues when this first happened was that the government was saying that if you want to apply for assistance, you apply online.
Yes.
There was no internet.
There's no power.
There's no power.
There's no power, no internet, no nothing.
So in taking care of libraries and things like that, you're going to bring that back to a degree.
Hopefully, to a degree. Yeah, they'll be able to at least go there, and they can get in touch with their family members from there too, because we're going to try to give them some way so they can connect to the internet. You know, it could be satellite, could be whatever, you know, whatever it is that we come up with. But we're going to try to give them so that they do have that communication outside. They could at least send messages out if something happens.
And right now they can't?
Not if they don't have internet.
Because a lot of, it appears that a lot of people left. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure some family members stayed and some family members left.
Right.
And so people want to communicate with their families.
Exactly. Yeah, they can get online, go to Facebook and communicate with theirs or send messages or, you know, whatever. That's one of the projects.
And at this point, that's pretty difficult.
I think that's the next project we're shooting for. The problem is that's quite expensive too.
How grateful when you all, for example, did the nursing home?
Oh my God.
Tell me about that.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was really excited about that one because, I mean, these are old people they're suffering. They're in really poor shape, most of them. But they were able to put in solar power so that people would have lights if they lose power again. Right now they do have power, but they'd have lights, they'd have fans, they'd have refrigeration for food and medication, machines if they need oxygen or nebulizers. So when that was our trip in June that they did the nursing home. When we were back in July with the people from church, we happened to run into a lady who works at the nursing home. And we asked her, how's things going? She said, oh, good. We said, have you lost power at all? Because we know it comes and goes. And she said, yep, and that system kicked right on. We didn't miss a beat. We had our fans and we had our lights, even without the electricity.
So the key to kind of getting back up and running is solar.
Mm-hmm. That's what it sounds like, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And are the people who need to have that message, are they getting that?
The mayor understands that, and he says he wants solar in every public building that they're going to build. You know, the city hall was destroyed, so they're going to have to build a new city hall. And they've told us what their needs are for backup power. I mean, we went in there. These college students were great. They're with Engineers Without Borders, is what the group is. And they came and they did the study, and it was phenomenal. They did a really good job.
And what was the study? What were they really? What data were they trying to?
They were trying to figure out how much power you actually need in a building, in any building, for doing your normal work. It's not like, and if you ask them, one of the questions was, what is it that you need when you first come in? And they all said power. Power, of course. And we said, okay, cut that back. What do you need? You need a light? Oh yeah, we need a light. Okay, now that gives us an idea of how to figure out how much power these people need for backup so they'll be able to do their normal work. We can give them a lamp that's an LED with a battery pack that's connected to a solar system. That's doable. Giving them power for everything that runs the office, no. We can put a small system up that would power up their computers, their copiers, if need be. And we asked, do you really need your computer? And if the answer was yes, okay, we're going to give you power for it. And copiers, you got a copier, you got a copier, you got a copier. Can you all live with one copier? Yes, okay, we got, you know. So that's the type of study that they did.
Now, did you know how to do this work before?
I'm a physicist by.
So you had to learn how to do all this.
Right.
But you saw that there was a need and you did it.
Yes, that's There's a need. When there's a need, you got to figure out how to do it. You know, and we've had a lot of it. I mean, the University of Maryland, the solar power for Puerto Rico, those people have been phenomenal, and they're on them. Like they're on the government right now, trying to get figure out how to get the money that HUD has earmarked for Puerto Rico. We're working with the city of Puerto Rico, the mayor, to do that. And also what we're trying to do is we're trying to get Yabucoa to be a sister city to University Park. That could help us in getting some of the funding from HUD, because we can push from here and they can pull from over there. You know, and that's basically what we're trying to do.
And I just always want to remind people that Puerto Rico, you are not some foreign country.
No.
You are us.
No, yes. American citizens. These are 3.5 million American people who are there. Yes.
And you need help.
And you need help. And we've needed help for a year, and somehow it's got to break. It's got to come through.
And we will put your information at the end of the program to let everybody know who you are. And also you said you wanted to thank Global Solace, and you wanted to thank Solar Power for Puerto Rico.
Absolutely. That's not only them, but all the other people, everybody who's donated. That's, we want to, thank you very much.
And every little bit counts.
That's right. That's right. $5, $10, $20, whatever,
And especially you were talking about at the nursing home, how the people were so grateful.
Oh.
Just a little bit can save a life.
Yes. And those people really need it. They really need it. So.
And you guys travel all the way from Bowie to Puerto Rico to help. I mean, and you guys are definitely, you're like angels in disguise with what you guys are doing. You really are. You really are.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We've been talking to Rafael and Christine Quinones, and we've been talking about Puerto Rico relief. People are still struggling there. We cannot forget. We can't forget what happened. We can't forget what you're going through. We've got to remind people as often as we can what your needs are.
Yes.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You've been watching the Sisters for Fitness Wellness Show. I'm Stephanie Gaines-Bryant. Have a great day.